So, tier list. Abomination. So, I like the stun and the blight that they have at base. That is really good. And definitely in the right builds can be pretty good, right? I like the beast form. I don't like that it stresses everyone out, but I understand why it needs to stress everyone out. And the rake and the rage and the slam ability are just good. I think in terms of the frontline fighters, it's definitely up there, right? It's definitely one of the better ones. I'm gonna tentatively put it in A for now. This might change. Yeah, that's true. You don't need to change their skills around. You don't have to choose. But when you think about it that way, you don't need to change their skills around, but they're also missing some skills. Because they're going to have this ability and this ability and this... Oh, no, they've got 3 each, like they do normally. So they do have the same amount of skills as everyone else does. Cool. So we've got the Abomination. That's why I'm putting it for now, but that might change. Antiquarian's great. I mean, it's going to allow you just to have some more gold, right? That's always just a flat-out good thing. Allows you a lot of kind of gameplay benefits in terms of that, and allows you to get the artifacts as they come along. I like the blight ability they have. It's good. I wish it was a bit higher, because it feels very base, but considering they don't really attack anyway, that's not too bad. I don't use Get Down at all. I might only use it if I want to kind of buff somebody up, or I want to pair that with Riposte. If I pair that with Riposte, it's pretty good. But they're really good. They're really good things to bring into bosses, right? Because of their dodges, because they can up people's dodges, and because they can minus their AC. So I do think they have their place. I do think they are useful. I think they're good to take along with a lot of parties. In terms of, they're very complementary to a lot of parties. But would I rather just take a Vestal? Probably. Because they can heal, they can stun, they have a lot of control over the battlefield. And you need to rely on having a lot of kind of like dodge trinkets and things like that in order to really get the use out of the dodge. So I think it's mid. I think it's totally just in the middle. Maybe slightly worse than in the middle, because I think we're going to have people above this. So in my opinion, it's C tier. But if anyone has any opinions on that, feel free to say. But yeah, in my opinion, I'm thinking C tier. I don't think it's much higher than that. This is good. I don't really use the marked ability at all. Marked just goes so quickly. It doesn't seem to last as long, so I don't really see much use in marking people. Unless you can get somebody else to mark, but then they can't use their abilities. So damage versus marked isn't that good, in my opinion, unless they mark themselves, which they sometimes do. This is just better than the Antiquarian's ability, right? Because it just reduces accuracy, so it's going to be better than putting up dodge. Ironically, works quite well with the Antiquarian, with the dodge and the minus to the accuracy. Marking, once again, I've made my opinion known on this. The bowler, I don't know the usefulness of this ability. I don't think it's very useful. I used it a little bit at the beginning, but since then, I haven't really found much use for it. So I think this is kind of useless. Why not use any of the other abilities over this? Blind Fire is great. You can hit a random target, so it's good when you can't necessarily hit the target you want to hit, because it might hit them anyway. It does up the speed, and it's a good get out of jail free card that a lot of the other classes don't have if they're too close or they're too far away. So I would say, I'm not basing it on the camping skills so much, by the way. I'd say in terms of Blind Fire, that's pretty good. I think they're going to go B. I don't think they're as good as some of the I'd rather take a Vestal, once again, if I have that 4th position available. But they do have healing abilities, so they're either low A or high B, I would say. Bounty Hunter. I also don't use the Bounty Hunter much. Once again, the mark is great. This mark actually lasts longer, I think, than the other marks. I could be wrong. So that can be useful, especially when they have such a high increase to their damage with the marking. This definitely puts it above the Arbalest for me, I think. Having a stun is great. Having that knockback ability is great. You can get people out of the way that you don't want to hit you. It can pretty much just be used in kind of any position except at the back. And even then, if you've got flashbang, you can still do something from the back. Or come hither. It's just the movement is great. It can really allow you to control what you're doing, along with the stuns, along with the damage versus stuns. Put them in the stun team and they're great. Caltrops, never use them. Don't see the point in using them. Think they're kind of useless. Probably the thing that kind of brings it down here. It's good for bleed, I suppose, and it allows some extra damage taken. But why would you do that when you can already hit that third position? If you just want to hit the back, just come hither them. Unless you just want to rely on that extra kind of damage from bleed. Because some things do work well with bleed, but yeah, I don't see the point in Caltrops. I don't think I have anything more to say on the Bounty Hunter. But with that in mind, I'm going to put them in A, but I'm going to put them below. This is left means good, right means not as good. So I think I'll put them in low A. But I think a lot of our frontliners are going to be in A. The Crusader. So, Crusader, right. I like the Crusader a lot. Smite is just great. It's going to do extra damage versus Unholy. It's a high damaging ability. Crusader just has high damage in general. It's not unlikely to hit. I don't really see a downside. Zealous Accusation, but the fact that I can't remember what it is kind of tells you that I don't think it's very useful. I remember using it at the beginning a little bit, but I don't see the point in it. Yeah, it's just a lower damage. Why on earth would you not just use an attack? Oh, it's because it hits the 2 at the front. Okay, so it's a bit like the Leper's ability. So I can see some use in that. Stunning Blow. It's just great to be able to have control over the battlefield. It allows for a lot of versatility in terms of control. It allows you to stun them for a round. It's quite a good stun as well. Other stuns hit 2, so that's not that good. But just from having that stun on the first 2 positions is great. The only thing that kind of lets the Crusader down is not being able to hit further down the battlefield. Bulwark of Faith, I don't use it. It would be great if it actually makes you defend people, so if you guard people, but it doesn't. It just allows you to be protected. It will bring attention to you by marking you, but they don't always attack the people that are marked. So Torch is great. Having a higher Torch, it means you could probably go through a whole dungeon with just having them and the Vestal and any other Torch kind of producers and just have them. So that is useful in that respect. I don't use it, but I can see its uses. Battle Heal, that's great. It allows... That's the good thing about the Crusader, is it's just got so much versatility, right? It can just damage, it can stun, it can heal. The Holy Lance allows you movement as well, so if you get stuck at the back, you can keep moving forward. And it works on the back as well, whereas a lot of the movement forwards things don't work at the back. So that's good. And I like using Inspiring Cry as well. It's a good stress healer. I think the Crusader is just really good for a frontliner with so much versatility of using other things as well. So in my opinion, I'm going to put the Crusader, or I kind of want to put him over the Abomination. But the Abomination also has these abilities to do this. The only thing that the Abomination has not got, that the Crusader has got, is the ability to stress heal others rather than stress healing himself. But I think the Abomination has more versatility in damage. It damages more areas. So I think that just wins the Abomination over the Crusader. Grave Rubber is good with people that blight. So in that respect, they also work really well with the Plague Doctor. They work really well with anybody that marks as well. So they've got a lot of versatility there. They're good at armor piercing, which is great, so you can ignore that protection stat. They've got lots of forward and backwards momentum, so they're good to have in a team where you want that. So you can move people in the positions in there. So I can see the advantages there. They've got their own blights, so they can cause the same damage, but I just wish this blight lasted a little bit longer. It does here when you level it up. What do you think then, Lucid? What would you do? Where would you place the Antiquarian, and why? I do like the Antiquarian. Don't get me wrong. I do like the Antiquarian a lot. I just think in this game it is better to kill or to stun or to control than it is to just maximize those dodges, and it relies on other people having trinkets and such. So feel free to offer an alternative. I'm more than welcome to listen. This is my first time playing it, so I might not be aware of some of the more kind of advanced strategies. But we certainly have found use for the Antiquarian, especially with bosses and things like that, getting down their accuracy. I don't know. I just don't think I can put it in a higher thing. I'd rather have somebody else in the 4th position, or in the 3rd position. But I think with certain parties it can be very good. I just think generally I wouldn't place it as any higher. But I'll keep on going on the Grave Robber, and I'll see if you respond. But they're just so weak. The Grave Robber. They've just got so little health compared to everyone else. So to have them fighting around and moving around is great, but if you get hit, it takes like 2 or 3 hits for them to go down, and that's it. Or if they get critted, like 1 or 2. Yeah, I definitely think in terms of that, I don't think the Grave Robber is very good personally. So I'm gonna put them in C. I'm not a huge fan. We've got the Hellion. Hellion's got great for that crit modifier. Great damage dealer in my experience. Iron Swan is great. Allows them to hit the back line from the front line. When you need that kind of ability to hit the back line, which it seems a lot of them can't unless they're kind of your artillery, they're your occultists, they're everybody else. Hitting position 4 is generally a difficulty. Having them have the versatility to go back and forth with the breakthrough is great. We just saw that when we were going through the homestead just a minute ago. Not the homestead, the farmstead. Just a minute ago. We could see the advantages of that. Yeah, great damage dealer. Great when paired with other people that can stun. Great in general. I don't really use Adrenaline Rush, like, ever. I suppose you can buff up to do some damage, but why not just get 2 times the damage in? Unless you want to go for the accuracy boost to hit something. And Bleed Out's great as well. Can allow you to get that if you pair it with other bleeders. It's just really good. Do I prefer it more than the Abomination, the Crusader, and Bounty Hunter? I still think I like the Abomination more, just in terms of its versatility. I'm still umming and ahhing between these two. I still want to put this one above that one, sort of. So I'm gonna put them in with the A lot. I think they're better than the Bounty Hunter. I think they're better than the Arbalist. I think they're better than the Antiquarian and the Grave Robber. But I'm not sure if they're better than the Abomination. I'm not quite sure who I'm going to put in S yet. Some of these guys might go in S. I know who I'm putting in S. Highwayman. So, Wicked Slice is great. We saw how good that was just a minute ago. If you're getting high crit mods, if you're amplifying those crits with your trinkets, it can really do some damage when hitting with Wicked Slice, just from that increased crit mod there. Now some of the others have that. They have higher damage with higher crits, but I feel like with Wicked Slice, it's still really good. Pistol Shot allows for versatility, can allow you to hit the back, can allow you to hit other places. You can kind of go 2 ways with it, right? You can have a kind of melee-based Highwayman, or you can have a ranged one. Both seem to be very good. point blank shot. Damage is great with it. It seems to always crit. Don't know why. Easy to A tier for being a party buff and dodge everything. Also force guard combo riposte on later levels. Yeah, true. We did mention that earlier on as well. She's usable in all positions with a useful skill to use round 1. No need to give any accuracy since her skills accuracies are always high. Crusader, Plague Doctor, Antiquarian, Occultist is an example of how to utilize good positioning damage all positions greatly with a perfect skill set. That's true. Maybe I'm not. I have actually, as we've been talking about it, I have actually mentioned how I don't know if I'm ready to put them in A tier. Why not just? I still feel like I'd want to have a heal, at least. Then again, if you're like the way you're describing it, right, is having the Antiquarian at the front, having the Occultist there. The Occultist can heal, and the Plague Doctor can heal, and the Crusader can heal. So you're kind of taking you're having a lot of versatility within them. So I can see the advantage of that. You know what? You've convinced me. I am convinced. I will move them up. I do agree. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I agree. But I'm not. I'll put them above the Bounty Hunter. But I'm not putting them above these three, I'm afraid. But that's my opinion on that. Where were we? Oh yes, we were with the Highwayman. Point blank shot, grape shot blast. Don't really use this, but can see the advantage of using it. Tracking shot, that is another ability to remove stealth. Very good in certain situations. Once again, having that crit is great. It can allow us for some preparation. But riposte is really, apart from the, I'm trying to remember, Man at Arms having riposte as well. I'm not too. I think riposte is great, especially when you have, if you know what you're going up against and you know it hits multiple places at once, and if you have someone that can be guarded on them, so that could be your Man at Arms, that could be your Antiquarian or someone, can really help with riposte there. So I think the Highwayman, also just for the fantasy, right? I just really feel cool when I have a Highwayman that crits and crits and crits and damages, and having that, breaking that action and economy is great. Highly recommend looking. The Real Me guides on all heroes. Bro got like 20k hours as an expert at vanilla game. Short answer from the guide is that every hero is good in its own way. All depends on team comp and skill set. Yeah, I would agree with that. In my limited experience, everyone seems to be good. It's one of the things I was saying that I quite like about the game is you could theoretically go out with a team of any random group. You could theoretically go out and still manage to survive the dungeon whilst it's still feeling difficult. And then when you get to the end of it, it does, once you kind of understand how it works a bit more, you definitely get more proficient in doing it. So yeah, I'd agree there, Lucid. But just for the pure fantasy of how epic it feels to have a Highwayman on the map, just riposting and killing everything, I'm going to put the Highwayman in S tier. I'm willing to be debated about this, but for the time being, Highwayman is S tier. I just like it. I just like it so much. Like I said before, this is a personal list. Like, I understand that the general consensus might be different to mine. This is just also just kind of like a how cool does it feel sort of thing as well. I mean, just look how cool he is. Just look how cool he is. He's got a gun. He just shoots people and stabs people, and he's great. Alright, let's have a look at the Handmaster. I cast Gun. That does feel like, he does feel like the straight man of the world, right? He feels like the guy that just comes in and is like, oh, all these people casting magic and summoning gods and dealing with the occult, and he just shoots it. Handmaster. I like the Handmaster in general. Good with the dog treats as well. Having the ability to attack all rows is great. With a relatively decent damage, with bleed, And the bleed gets better over levels, but there are other things that can bleed better. Just a good versatile sort of thing, I think. And the Hound's Harry can be really good in certain situations, but generally I'd rather just Hound's Rush. But if you want to get a lot of people down and they already have low health, I don't see the point in doing that. Their mark's pretty good as well, because their mark lasts a while. I think that's great. I think it's great that they've got the different marks. It lowers their protection. I just don't tend to mark myself, because why would I not just get 2 turns of damage in? I find the damage from marking isn't as good. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit different there, but I don't like marking. And I'd rather them mark themselves and then the enemy mark themselves, and then I take advantage of that. Cry Havoc, it's good to have a stress caster, a stress reliever, just in general. I'd rather have a Crusader that has this, or I'd rather have a Jester, or I'd rather have somebody else that can target a specific person. This is random, and it's not always seemingly going to hit by the fact that it has a percentage base. Why would I not hit and try and crit? Especially with the amount it stress heals. But it can be useful, and it can be good on a team that you know probably is going to crit a lot anyway. So, yeah. Guard Dog, great. Any guard things that can allow people to guard with a poster. Even then, it just increases, it just allows dodge, which is great. It's great to use them to protect people. Oh, it's the other way around, sorry. I'm confused. Allows you to guard certain places, and the dodge skill having up. Really good dodger. Can pair really well with other things that either reduce accuracy or increase dodge. Lick Wounds, don't use it. I have a healer on my group anyway every time, so I either have a Arbalist, or I'll have a Vestal, or if worse comes to worse, I'll have a Plague Doctor, or I'll have a Flagellant. There's lots of other healers I can have that all use it. I don't see the point in having Lick Wounds unless it's on its own. Probably useful in the early levels. Blackjack. I really like Blackjack. I love having my Handmasters in second position. The ability for them to just bonk someone over the head and stun them. It's great. Especially considering stunning allows you so much control of the board. Control of the board. This isn't D&D. Allows you so much control of it. I like it. I would rather take these guys over a Houndmaster, however. So I'm gonna put him in B, and then I might come back to it. But for the time being, I'm thinking B. Base 110% stun is very OP to position 3. Yeah. I've gone off it now. That's why I do like them in the second position. And I do like them in the third position. I think they're great in that. I'm not saying that they're bad at all. I just, yeah, I agree. Jester. When I started, I thought Jester was great. When I first got a Jester and started using them and used them to stress heal everyone down to 0, I thought they were great. I think early game, they are really great. I think they're really great at making sure that you don't take afflictions. I think they're good there. I think they're good at making people bleed. I think they're good at making multiple people bleed. Once again, pair it up with a Houndmaster. Great. Lots of bleeding. And a Hellion. Having Battle Ballad to buff everyone is great. As I've got further into the game, I have had other people that can stress heal around. Not better. Never better. This is always going to be the best stress healer. But can allow you to spread that stress out more, which you can then just spend in the Hamlet to get rid of the rest of the stress, as long as you're managing your Hamlet well. Not as good as early game. I think they're very good. I think they lose some of their steam by end game. But this, bypassing guard, is great. I think that's really good. Having forward with that is a little bit annoying. I'd rather they didn't, but that's just the way I play Jesters, towards the back. I don't tend to use Finale. Speaking of Finale, obviously it does a load of damage. It does a load of damage in one go. but you really need to know when to use it, right? You really need to know if you need to use it at the beginning, at the end, because it's just gonna keep up the dodge, get rid of your dodge, get rid of your speed, get rid of your more stress, and that could quickly go out of control, especially with the plus 100 stress. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. I've never used solo. I have no idea how good this is. Damage minus 100, 125 accuracy, forward free, mark self, and increase your finale damage, right? So I'm having to imagine that's the thing that you do before you finale. Yeah, which I can see being really good for the finale, but I'd rather take Dirk Stab. That's the multiple one, not Harvest, the other one. Slice Off, and Battle Ballad or Inspiring Tune. Yeah, I feel like it would be really just as really good if played correctly. I just don't think I necessarily play them 100% correctly. I just like having them in the back to stress heal in general. When I know when I'm going into a dungeon with people that are already stressed, I'll take them. If I'm in a situation where I think I'm gonna get really stressed, I'll take them. That's not a bad shout, Lucid. I didn't think of it that way. You could use it in a normal combat, and then be guaranteed to kill it. Alrighty. So we've got Jester. I'd rather have. Jester always seems to have a place on my team, just because I like the stress healing of it. But do I think I need it all the time? I'm not sure. I'm going to put them in B alongside with these. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on that. Right, Leper, chop. I didn't like Leper until literally today. Once I started giving them a load of accuracy and crit mod things, I kind of like Leper now. Just by the fact that they've got the high crit mod, they can hit multiple enemies, and they just seem to do insane amounts of damage when they do that. Once we started using Leper, I actually quite liked it. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion on Leper, right? It just does a lot of damage. It's a great frontliner. I'd probably take a Crusader or a Hellion or an Abomination over them. But I think it's useful. I think it's good. Yeah, they can clear all the corpses, which is just handy. Although probably should just use something else. I've never found a use for revenge. I mean, it's accuracy and damage and crit. Once again, it's one of those things where I'm like, why wouldn't I just hit twice instead? I guess in case I get that crit. I guess it's one battle, so I can see the advantage of it. Probably good on bosses and things like that. Yeah, not much more to say in regards to that. Withstand, that's good. Once again, like the Crusader, would like that to be able to protect someone. So I wish it was a guard, so you could guard someone. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I just wish this was able to guard somebody else. Because then the extra protection, the blight, the bleed, the debuff, the move resistance would be more useful, and especially considering it's only one battle. Yeah, I think this is just... I don't think this is very good. Good stress healer for themselves. Good healer for themselves. Just allows them to stand alone on their own. No complaints there. Yep, and then finally we got Intimidate. Bypass removes stealth, minus 20 damage, minus 3 speed, mark self. Yeah, okay, I guess. A lot of people told me to take this. I don't really get it. Because it removes stealth, I guess. Yeah, I don't get what's the point behind Leper and Intimidate. I guess it's because it does it. This is to the enemy, right? So it removes their damage. It removes their speed. I guess it slows people down, which is good for debuffing. Why not take an antiquarian? They can do this better. They can reduce people's abilities. So, or any other thing that reduces abilities. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Leper. I'm gonna say B. Although I like them, I'm actually gonna say B. They're not as bad as the Grave Robber. in my opinion. This might change at the end when I completely change my mind. I think B. I think they could be an A if they only had a couple of changes. And this will kind of go on to my later thing. But with accuracy and crit mods, they seem pretty good. But that's reliant on trinkets, right? So sometimes you, especially with the early game, you don't want to have to rely on trinkets. One thing I want to say about the man-at-arms, I like the fantasy of the man-at-arms. I think he's really cool fantasy of old man who trains people in the yard, goes out with his big mace and teaches the young'uns how to do it properly. I really like that character fantasy. I think that's great. With the high H put people, I like him having the higher crit with his weapons. I quite like as well. His crit isn't too bad. Probably not in terms of the leper and stuff, but him having the higher crit mod with his crush ability and the fact that it can hit free is good. It puts them up there with the Hellion, in my opinion, in terms of where they can hit. Obviously, the Hellion has more versatility to attack from the third position as well. Rampart, it's good to have a stun ability, so I have ran having 3 stunners at the front can make a lot of control, right? But having a man-at-arms can also allow you that versatility to just do damage or to just Rampart. Bellow is something I'll use if he's trapped at the back. But -5 dodge, -5 speed, crits perceived while marked. See, maybe I'm not marking enough and then adding enough onto the mark to make it useful. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like marking. It's not a problem I have in any other game. I'm aware of the concept of it. I just don't like it in Darkest Dungeon. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think Bellow is cool. I think it's got its uses. Defender, it'll guard an ally. You can put that up with their retribution as well, so it's another post. I think that's great. I don't think it's as good as the Highwayman in terms of its ability to do that. It just feels like Highwayman always hits more and always crits more. That might not be true, but it feels like it. I mean, the Highwayman has a lot of crit modifiers anyway, but this was really good on our run where we went through the farmstead, and we had him guarding and riposting all the time. So I think he's very useful in that way. I've never used command. +5 accuracy, +4 crit, +15 damage while guarded. That feels really useful. I've never used it. Hold on, that is their abilities. I've never used command, but I can see how it could be useful. Yeah, especially if you're guarding with them, right? So he can be a buffer too, especially if he's in position 4. I've seen some of the trinkets preferring him in position 4. Bolster, +5 dodge, -10 stress for the battle. Doesn't feel as good as some of the other things he can do. So I don't really put it on him. I usually bellow instead. I guess I'm not buffing me, I'm doing it to the enemy. But yeah. With that in mind, I'm gonna put him on him on A, just because I like his versatility. I like his ability to do multiple different things. I think that's cool. I still think he's better than Bounty Hunter. But I probably would take an Antiquarian over him, depending on the situation and the party. But I like his versatility. I think it's good. Moving on. Okay, Occultist. I really like Occultist. I like this against Eldritch creatures. Makes him very good in the Cove. It's got good positioning. He can attack from position 3 with this. I like his ability to attack from multiple different places. I think that's great. This is good as well. It allows you to hit 2 people at the back. It's not too bad. Allows him good position at the front and at the back. I use Weakening Curse, but I mostly use it just to finish off enemies that only have 1 or 2 health left. but the minus to the damage, would protect, minus to their protection, sorry. I can see the advantage of the leper now, considering I use this quite a lot. So that makes sense as to why the leper would use that ability. Intimidate. Kind of has the same feel as this, but better. Okay. Everyone loves this, right? Everyone loves weird reconstruction. Sometimes it just rolls 0. Often it just rolls 0. And if you're in a position, and they seem to take them as their primary healer, if you're in a position where you are the enemy, they go first, so you've got an attacker that goes first before the occultist does, which isn't always, but does sometimes happen, and they bleed when they're on death's door, or if they get hurt when they're on death's door, they'll die, right? Or you could make them bleed and die. So I feel like it's not as good. It's good if you don't let people get down to 0, but you can always let things happen. Yeah, that seems to be what it is. It's very much a I hope this works sort of situation. Yeah. Does this mean the bleed goes up as it gets higher level? That's interesting. That's almost worse. Yeah, I suppose it increases the healing levels though, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's as good a healer as everyone else does, and so I'll only use him as a healer when I need to, or if I have another healer, another person that can heal, just in case. So that matchup earlier that Lucid put in, I would say, is pretty good. And a good place to use the occultist. Vulnerability Hex, which marks targets. Marks is good. Reduces their dodge, means you're going to be more likely to hit them. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't have a problem with this. Hands from Abyss. I like this as a stun. It's 110 base, right? And it goes up as it goes along. 150 base. But I imagine the 22 creates its 44 in a single turn. Yeah, but it's cool when it happens, until it doesn't happen. I'm all for a gamba, but not in... maybe that's the way I play games, is I like guaranteed victory. I don't like... I like reducing the RNG as much as possible. It's the same way I play D&D quite a lot of the time, is I want guaranteed damage rather than gamba, unless I'm feeling particularly fun that day. Hands from Abyss, I like the stun with this. I like having my occultist in position 2, just like I like my Houndmaster sometimes. Yeah, why not? I like it, and especially with their dodge skill. I think they're great, and they're stabby. Demon's Pool, it's a good pull. It can mean that you don't have to have a bounty hunter on your team, which I like. So yeah. I'm now that I'm thinking about it, I'm dropping Bounty Hunter down. But I'm gonna put Occultist. I'm gonna put him in a B. I think I'm gonna put him above the. Yeah, I'm gonna put him above the Jester, but below the Houndmaster. So we've got Plague Doctor. Where do I usually put my Plague Doctors? Position 3 or position 4? Usually position 4. Noxious Blast is great. It will allow. It's a very high blight for a blight team. It's really good. It's one of the best uses of the Grave Robber. Actually, I feel like is in a blight team. But for a blight team is really good. Plague Grenade, hitting the 2 at the back with a 4 points of bleed, going up to 6 points of bleed. Hitting 2, I really like that. I think that's really good. It allows him to almost be a bit like an artillerist. Same thing with the Blinding Gas. Having 2 stuns up on the back can be really good, considering your other classes that stun might not necessarily be able to hit them. Incision I have not used, but it looks like it's really good for making bleed. Could allow you to have a really good chip build, where you're chipping down the damage by having high bleeders and high blighters. I think it's great. I like the Plague Doctor. I just don't use them. I think Battlefield Medicine is surprisingly good, because it cures blight and bleed, which can be really useful sometimes. Probably pair them up with another healer, but Battlefield Medicine could be really good. I have never ever used Embalming Vapors. How many people does it do it on? That's the question. I don't know. Let me check it. It's a buff target, so it buffs 1 by the looks of it. I mean, that's good if you want to up someone's damage. I suppose you could really use it with your damage dealers. I can see advantages to that as well. I just don't use it. I'd rather use his other abilities. I'd rather use him as a bit of a damager. Shuffle, stun, clearing all corpses. I don't use this. I probably should use this. I think it's good. That's my opinion on that. But I'd probably pick something else over it. With that in mind, just because the sheer amount of blight damage they can do, they can bleed, but they can't bleed massively. They can bleed massively. And then you start to get up here and you're getting more effects done. I'm actually putting the Plague Doctor here, even though I never use it. I think it's really good. I just don't think I use it well enough, and I don't think I use it enough. Vestal. Mace Bash. Don't use it. Feel like I could use it. I could actually probably see a Vestal being used in this position, in position 2. Especially with its damage versus Unholy, having them with a Crusader could be quite useful, and then having the ones at the back. Yeah, could be great. If you're going into the ruins with a Crusader, just having that extra damage on Unholy. But I don't use it, and that's not how I use my Vestals. Judgment, I like that as a quick bit of damage, and it can do quite well when it crits. Just a quick bit of damage with the ability to heal from it can be good when you don't need to hit anyone else, but you just need to heal the Vestal. I'll use a Judgment instead. So yeah, I think Judgment is useful. I quite like it. Dazzling Light. With increasing torches and stunning, I think it's good. Shame that a lot of the trinkets don't complement her very well. With that, if they complemented her more, to be able to stun more and have good healing, I would do that. But it seems like you need one or the other. Once again, could be good on a frontliner, frontline Vestal. Don't use them that way. Yeah, that's pretty much my thought on that. It's great to be able to use them to stun. Divine Grace, it's a heal. It's a good heal. That's my opinions on that. I think you have to take Divine Grace if you're having them in the back line. Divine Comfort, also really good at healing, and healing lots of people. If you're taking a lot of heal across the damage across the board, why not take a Vestal? I think I'd always probably take a Vestal in position 4 most of the time for most of my builds. I just think it's too good not to, just from the healing. That does usually mean you have to pair them up with people that have stress healing, though. Don't use this. Can see the use of this. Once again, bypass, remove stealth, torch, minus 20 dodge. I like it. It's good. I don't use it. Hand of Light. Once again, I like it. I don't use it. Could be really good. I wouldn't know. But because I'm so reliant on them, this will probably not be something everyone agrees on, but I'm going to put Vestal in S, just by the fact that it heals everyone. It's a fantastic healer. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Vestal feels great in every build, unless you need the positions there at the back. But if I'm going for a long dungeon, and if it's my dream team, I will have a Vestal in it. Just for that healing, especially when you're just getting half your damage dealt, when you're half your health damaged when you're in a fight. Yeah, I mean, I guess the opposite theory of this, right, is to debuff everything before it hits you, so it doesn't hit you. Whereas you can always still get hit no matter what. So I quite like. I guess my build style is more around Vestal. So yeah, I'm putting Vestal in S tier. I do have the Flagellant. I don't have Crimson Court enabled on this one, but I do use the Flagellant. Okay, Flagellant. Bleed on the front with the first 2 attacking spaces. I I think that's good. I like the amount of damage they bleed. They reduce their bleed resistance. It's going to combo and create more bleeding. Same thing for Reign of Sorrows. Pretty much acts the same way. Zanguene is great when they're reduced with their healing and such. Now you can only do that's the one where you can only use it below 40% HP. Reclaim, redeem, endure, suffer, all really good. I understand the idea behind the flagellant. I understand it. I don't like getting my heroes below the amount of health they need. I don't know. Does Flagellant have a higher ability? When the Flagellant's death's door, every other member of the party is healed for 10%. For 10%. I'm getting messages. Hold on. 10% of their max HP, and Flagellant obtains a buff of first. I don't want my Flagellant to be getting to death's door. I know that's probably not right. I guess maybe if you're not worried about throwing away your Flagellant, you'll do it. But I don't use Flagellant in that way. I don't like using them to get to death's door and having so much low HP and getting it really close to them dying, but not. So my opinions on this is I don't like the Flagellant. So I lied to you. I'm going to put them in D. No, I'm going to do this. I think they're better than the Grave Robber. I really don't like the Grave Robber. I'm going to put them in C. Alright, let's look at Shieldbreaker. I like Shieldbreaker's ability to move around constantly. They're going back and forth, back and forth. I like their blight damage. This is great because it's armor piercing, so it can get to the back. It can hit anyone in any row, which is great. Only thing that brings down Pierce, I can't use it at the back. I'd love to be able to use it at the back, but sometimes my Shieldbreaker gets shuffled to the back and then I have to move them forward manually. Yes, they've got other abilities that do that, like the one just below it, but I don't tend to use it. Yeah, that's my opinion on that, I guess. Puncture, bypass guard, break guard, can't be guarded, 500% base, pull. I think it's great. I think it's good. I don't like the reduced damage on it, but I understand why. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Adder's Kiss. It's a good back and forth skill, but I'll probably just impale anyway, unless I've only got one enemy I need to deal with. But great with things that also add to blight. Impale, I use that a lot personally. Expose, bypass, remove stealth, plus 8% crits received, -4 speed. I don't use it. I can see the use for it. I think it's good. Captivate is damage versus marked, and blight. I think that's good as well. I sometimes use it. Serpent Sway, forward 1 block, and then it protects 2. That could be really useful. I think it can be great to be a tanker to begin with and take some hits. I'm gonna put them in B. I like how much they can move back and forth. I think with the right party comp, they're good. I think with the right people to go with them, they're good. I think they're good at defeating things that have guard and things like that, but I'm not sure. Why don't you like Grave Robber that much? She's a machine of damage, just a bit tricky since she can do a lot of things at the same time, like going for Blight, Mark team, since she can do extra damage against Blighted and Marked foes and dancing teams. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand the logic behind it. This might just be a difference in playstyles. I don't mark that much, so having the usefulness for my mark isn't that good for me personally. I just don't mark. Her damage on Blight teams is great, I agree, but I don't feel like she does, personally, I don't think she does enough damage. I don't use lunge, I will use the dagger ability. So I can see the advantage in that. But I don't know. I personally don't like her that much. I don't think she does enough damage in the way that I play her, and I don't think she does. What was I trying to say? I think she's too squidgy. I think she goes down way too often and too quickly. I think she loses too much health too quickly, and I spend my time trying to heal her. And yes, she can stealth away and then lunge back to do that additional damage. I just don't think that damage is high enough, or at least in my experience of playing her. But I haven't played a level 5 one. I've only managed to get them to like level 3 at the most, maybe level 4. I think the only time I had a level 5 or 6 one was when I had them as one of the Shard mercenaries. So yeah, that's probably why, Cav. But that's that. My opinion on that hasn't really changed. It might change later on as I play through most of the game. Fair just realised all characters related to Mark except the Highwayman, but he has only one skill that does Mark. Oh, all low on the list. Yeah, for me, they are quite low on the list, but it's mainly because I don't think Mark lasts enough to make it useful. That's why I don't like using Mark. For things that do extra damage to blighted foes or things that do extra damage to bleeding foes, I can see the usefulness of, because it does damage on top of that anyway, so you're already chipping, which ironically is the Grave Robber. But I haven't done that many blight builds. I've only done like 1 or 2 blight builds, so that's probably also coming into this. I like big number go big. maybe if I had more markers, that would be the case. Big money would go big with these guys. But yeah, but that's my opinion at the moment, and that's how I'm going to rank them.